I don't know what that means. Maybe National Public Radio. The headline reads, Feds say it's time to cut back on fluoride in drinking water. Well, since fluoride is poison, how much poison is appropriate? And when you consider that fluoride comes from the phosphate fertilizer factories, it is not pharmaceutical grade medicine, but they are medicating all of us. It's the first time ever that they use the public water supply to force medicine on people that don't want it. The process is wet scrubbing. They spray water on the chimneys, and whatever comes down, and I'll name all 5, they put it on trucks and send it to your water company and dump it into your water supply. It's a toxin when it leaves the factory. It arrives at your water company as medicine, and it is not pharmaceutical grade. And here's why. It contains 5 deadly toxins: fluoride, cadmium, arsenic, lead, and mercury. Now, which one of those do you want in your water supply in any amount? The article is dated April 27, 2015, and it was updated May 3, 2015. I'm going to read the story now. Federal health officials Monday changed the recommended amount of fluoride in drinking water for the first time since 1963, cutting by almost half the maximum amount of fluoride that should be added to drinking supplies. Now, this word "should be" is a lie. They never ran any tests to see if it was safe or effective. Safe or effective. Safe or effective. No tests. And so who came up with this "should be" added to the drinking supplies? The Department of Health and Human Services recommended, based on no studies whatsoever for effect or safety, recommended 0.7 milligrams of fluoride per liter of water instead of the long-standing range of 0.7 to 1.2 milligrams. Now you look on the back of a tube of toothpaste and it says, "Don't let kids under 6 near this toothpaste. It is poison." How much poison is there in a ribbon of toothpaste the size of a pea? The correct answer is the same amount in 1 glass of water. And what the toothpaste says is if your child accidentally swallows an amount equal to the size of a pea, that you should call the emergency room and poison center immediately. That means every time your child takes a glass of water, you should be in the emergency room because your child has been poisoned. Now, what is the recommended amount of poison? The Department of Health and Human Services recommends 0.7 milligrams per liter. The same dose that's found in 1 ribbon the size of a pea in toothpaste. If it's a poison in toothpaste and it's a poison at the factory where they make fertilizer, is it a poison when it arrives as medicine? Of course it's a poison. And how much tooth decay can we expect from cadmium, arsenic, lead, mercury, and fluoride? I say none. And the studies recently done say none. And for 60 years they have been pumping toxins into our water with no studies to prove efficacy or safety. And if you type in fluoridation, you get an American Dental Association propaganda ad at the bottom of the page at Google that says that it is safe to put poison in your water. Let me name the 5 poisons you get. You get arsenic. That is the largest one, the largest amount of arsenic in your water. You also get cadmium. And look up the effects of cadmium. When people have root canals and they use cadmium in the gutta perca, that's the root canal filling. They put a filling in the root canal, it's called gutta perca. If it has cadmium, you are poisoned. And you end up dying. And do they put on the death certificate that cadmium killed you? No. No, of course not. Because if they told the truth, you wouldn't want cadmium in your gutta perca. If you're going in for a root canal, make sure the dentist knows you don't want cadmium. That's what I did, and my dentist switched to non-cadmium gutta percha, and he hasn't switched back. I went to him because he was conscientious about such things. Now let me go through the list again. You get fluoride, and as a bonus, you get CALM, cadmium, arsenic, lead, and mercury. Are you happy about this? If you're happy, jump up and down and put your finger up your ass and sing happy tunes about the TSA, because that's what they do. It's conditioning for slavery. It's conditioning for a totalitarian state, and poisoning the water is part of it. We all had better get the finger out of our ass and get busy and defend ourselves against this practice. We need to complain every fucking day to the Department of Health and Human Services and tell them we don't want any of your fucking poison, cadmium, arsenic, lead, mercury, or fluoride in our fucking drinking water, because it's our fucking drinking water, not your fucking drinking water. You probably have a filter under your sink that costs $300 and poor people can't afford it. And it doesn't even remove the fluoride because the fluoride atom is too small, and it goes right through the filter like a mouse following an elephant into the circus. Water is the elephant and fluoride is the mouse. It goes right through, and all you assholes out there who think you're covered because you have an under the sink filter, typically reverse osmosis, you think that you're safe. Distilled water contains fluoride. Distilled water contains arsenic, lead, mercury. Anything that has a boiling point has a vapor pressure. And the higher the water is boiled, the higher temperature at which the water is boiled, the more toxins you get in your distilled water. If you don't have a bone char filter that's brand new, you're not pulling out the fluoride from your water. And what about the arsenic? What about the cadmium? What about the lead? What about the mercury? You people with filters think you're covered? You're full of shit. You think because you drink distilled water you're good? You're full of shit. I bought distilled water. I tasted it and it tasted foul. My urine smelled like industrial waste. And I took the bottles of distilled water back and got a refund. The company that bottles it is DS Services, like dumb shit services. They're in Atlanta. And they tell you on the label that your 100% satisfaction is guaranteed. So I went to the website because it also said, if you want to know about the quality of the water, go here. It's something like quality.water.com. So I went there looking for information about fluoride. Do you know what? They didn't even fucking cover fluoride, let alone arsenic, cadmium, lead, and mercury. Someone else did a video about fluoride, and he did some good work in Dallas. He's probably from the Dallas area. He obtained documents. And they said that they were putting out a high-grade fluoride. This is fucking bullshit. It isn't high-grade fluoride. It comes down from the smokestacks. It's not treated in any way. It is not pharmaceutical medicine. It's mixed with poisons like arsenic, lead, cadmium, and mercury. And we're all supposed to be so happy because they're medicating us. Why aren't they putting fucking vitamins in the water? I would rather shower with vitamins and flush my toilet with vitamins than something that's going to stick to my skin and poison me, cause skin cancer. When you take a fluoride shower or an arsenic shower, what the fuck do you think you're getting? These things stick because the most electronegative element on the periodic table is fluorine. It's way more electronegative than any other element on the table. It is the most reactive. It reacts with everything. It reacts with calcium, and you should eat a lot of calcium, green leafy vegetables that have not been sprayed with fluoride insecticide or arsenic insecticide, because once the fluoride sticks, it's not going to let go. You can wash the lettuce all day long. It's not going to fucking disappear and go to toxic heaven. Hold on a minute, I'll comb my hair so I can read the next paragraph. Now we have Dr. Boris Lushniak, the Deputy Surgeon General, who's talking to reporters during a conference call. Now let's see what Dr. Boris has to say. Quote, the change is recommended because now Americans have access to more sources of fluoride, such as toothpaste and mouth rinses, than they did when fluoridation was first introduced in the United States. He's assuming that this regimen is effective. It is not effective. Let me show you a graph. These are a combination of fluoridated countries and non-fluoridated countries. Now, if there is a difference between the tooth decay levels, you will see it. But as you can see, all of them declined. In fact, tooth decay has been declining since the 1930s because people eat more fruits and vegetables and more cheeses. And it has nothing whatsoever to do with fluoride, but they claimed that fluoride was the cause. We have a cause and effect that is not appropriately applied. And we have a deputy surgeon general lying to the people, implying that fluoride is good for your teeth. This is a fucking lie. Even when it's applied topically, it has a very thin layer of fluoride, which lasts a very short time. Chewing alone wears it away. You would need 10,000 coatings to equal the width of a human hair. I don't want fluoride on my teeth or in my bones or anywhere in my body because it's poison. There is no chemical reaction in the entire body that involves fluoride. That tells you that the body recognizes it as a poison. And when you drink these poisons, your liver starts acting to detoxify the poisons. And it has a similar feeling to having had some alcohol. When you drink alcohol, the liver recognizes alcohol as a poison and it attacks. And it disarms the poison. Well, when I drink distilled water, I get that same feeling. That my liver is working, my breath changes. I can feel these changes, and if you listen to your body, you will feel them also. So my body is telling me there's a toxin in my blood, in my intestines, and the liver is going to work to detoxify it, and I can taste the difference in my mouth. I can feel the sensation of the liver going to work. And if you listen closely to your body, you'll hear and feel the same things. These are toxins. Fluoride, arsenic, lead, cadmium, and mercury. They do not belong in the body. We have a deputy surgeon general who is lying to you and implying that there is some efficacy to fluoridation. There is no efficacy at all. You are drinking poison, and now they've decided to reduce it. Why don't they just fucking eliminate it? Because they need to get rid of it. The corporations will not have enough profit if they don't push it into your drinking water. It's dumped there like your drinking water was their fucking toilet. You are drinking from a fucking industrial toilet. Since the U.S. government spent 60 fucking years telling us lies and feeding us propaganda so that most of the people in the population believe that fluoride is good for you, they should spend 60 years telling the people fluoride, arsenic, lead, cadmium, and mercury are what you're actually getting, and they are all fucking poisons. And we need to bring some lawsuits against anyone who advocates the use of fluoride in our drinking water. We need to bring down all the doctors who advocate poison in your drinking water. I feel very strongly about this issue, but I'm trying to hide it. Another fucking lie. The same fucking Dr. Boris, he says the new recommended level will maintain the protective decay preventative benefits of water fluoridation and reduce the occurrence of dental fluorosis. Bullshit. Bullshit. IQ drops an average of 7 points with 0.3 milligrams per liter. The Chinese did the study. I think the name was Xiang. Xiang, I think is the name. Xiang. Now, the Chinese have some areas that are toxic with fluoride, and they measure the amount of fluoride, and they measure the drop in IQ, and they found that 0.3 was enough. That's less than half of what your drug pushers and poison pushers are advocating. 0.3 is less than half of 0.7, and 0.3 causes a drop of 7 points in the IQ. This wipes out all the geniuses, and it more than doubles the number of mentally retarded and moron and idiots in our population. They don't use those terms anymore because people abuse them, but the technical term for a low IQ person was either an imbecile, an idiot, or a moron. And I would say that all fluoride proponents are morons, idiots, and imbeciles. And I dare any one of them to step up to the plate and eat a box of sodium fluoride for us to show us that it's harmless. Because you will be fucking dead. It is poison. It says on the box that it's poison. What part of fucking poison don't you understand? How much fucking poison is appropriate for your water? How much arsenic? How much lead? How much cadmium? How much mercury and how much fluoride poison do you want in your child's drinking water or your parents'? Most people are too stupid to listen to their body and hear the body saying, there's a poison here. And we're moving to eliminate that poison. You can't eliminate it. 50% of the fluoride you intake stays with you. Drinking fluoride is like drinking suntan lotion to get a good suntan. You don't fucking drink suntan lotion, shoe polish, or fingernail polish because they're all topical treatments. If it's in your toothpaste, you get a topical treatment and then little kids swallow it. They can't help it. Anything that tastes sweet, they swallow it, and the toothpaste companies are making all of this taste real fucking good. So what do kids do? They fucking swallow it. And for that reason, it is too dangerous, and it should not be in the drinking water, or the toothpaste, or anywhere where anybody can come in direct contact with it. You want to take a shower with these poisons? You want to flush your toilet and send the problem downstream to someone else's water supply? Where does that water go? Just think about it. It goes to ponds, lakes, rivers, streams eventually. It goes into the ocean, and then it circulates the fucking globe so that everybody gets fluoridated. The Chinese are paying the fascists in this country, I call it organized crime, let's call them the mafia. They're paying the mafia to receive these poisons, and then the fucking mafia is dumping it into your water for $1. $3 million, I read this morning, is being paid by San Diego for what? Rat poison, cadmium, arsenic, lead, mercury? Who in the fuck is in charge in California? It's mandated. But opponents of fluoridation, and even some scientists maintain the new standard doesn't nearly go far enough. They say there is evidence that overexposure to fluoride might increase the risk for other health issues, including possibly thyroid problems, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, and even lower IQs. America cannot afford any lower IQ, and California is fourth from last. They are among the 4 lowest IQs in the whole fucking country as a state. The average IQ in California is so fucking low, it's almost dead last. The people of San Diego, especially those that live near the ocean, are wealthy people. They know what the fuck is going on. These are educated people. And they don't want fluoride in their fucking water. And now it's being mandated by the state because some motherfucker got paid off. Do you think that it's possible for government employees to take bribes to sell out the people? It happens everywhere, every fucking day. You can take over a whole country if you just corrupt the leader with money. And that's what they did. We have a small band of bribers who have an unlimited amount of money because they make so much fucking money when they charge San Diego over $3 million to fluoridate their water. The people don't need this, and they don't need this kind of expenditure. So you people in San Diego had better get the finger out of your ass and get busy. You need to make phone calls every fucking day and find out who is in charge of pushing this on the people. And you need to call that son of a bitch and bring his ass into court and demand that he stop poisoning the people. I intend to hammer this issue until we win. I won't complete my work until every motherfucker in government has to take a lie detector test every month and answer the people's questions. We have a right to honest government. And we have a right to put them under the polygraph test to see if they're fucking taking bribes. To see if they're fucking lying to the people. And if we catch them in lies and in bribery, we need to fire them and prosecute them, put their ass in jail, and seize all their Swiss bank accounts. No matter how many they have. This lying son of a bitch, Dr. Boris Lushniak, said this. Now try not to laugh. The new recommended level will maintain the protective decay prevention benefits of water fluoridation. Are you done laughing? And reduce the occurrence of dental fluorosis. Dental fluorosis is a symptom of fluoride poisoning. If it shows up in the teeth, you can bet your ass it shows up in all tissues. Brain tissues, heart tissues, kidney tissues, intestines. How can you drink the poison without it clinging to the intestinal walls? I read that fluoride destroys the intestines. This Dr. Boris Lushniak should be in prison. He is promoting propaganda. He is assuming efficacy when none exists. He is a fucking liar. Now we have the counter-argument from Dr. Felipe Grandjean, a brilliant medical doctor at Harvard. It's the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health, and he has done remarkable work. He is leading the fight. He and another guy by the name of, I can't remember his name. Maybe it will be here because these two guys work together. Two doctors with very strange names. Grandjean, the other name sounds a bit Irish. And here's Dr. Felipe Grandjean's quote. Due to the importance of having the best possible brains in the future, I think that would suggest that we be careful about the amount of fluoride that we deliver to the population in the drinking water, unquote. He's saying basically that if you lower the IQs, you make America less competitive. He's saying that we need all the brains we can muster, and here's why. Our population, the entire population, according to Google, 318.9 million people. What is China's population, 1.5 billion? They have, if you took just their smartest 25%, IQ scores in the top 25 percentile, you'd have 375 million of them. They have more smart people than we have people. How could we possibly compete with fluoride in the water? If that was the only reason to stop this, it would be justified right there. But when you consider the doses given to prevent tooth decay in people who don't have teeth, like little babies, who are completely defenseless and dependent upon adults to protect them, and we are not protecting them. Now here's another extremely important point. The paragraph says, because fluoride is so readily available, critics argue people should be able to decide for themselves whether to use fluoride and how they get it. There's a quote here from Michael Connett. I know that Paul Connett is a PhD and he is the head of Fluoride Action Network, but I'm not sure how Michael Connett is related to Dr. Paul Connett. And by the way, I highly recommend that you go to the Fluoride Action Network. There is a link here. I want you to absorb everything there because this PhD is a chemist. And he knows very well what it means to be the most electronegative element on the periodic table and that fluoride reacts with everything. He knows the significance of that. Doctors should know it, but they're focused on making money, not health. They couldn't give a shit if you are healthy. What they want is the money, and they want the great lifestyle. They want the luxury vacations and luxury homes. And they don't give a shit what they have to do to you in order to get it. And most of them have sold out, and they're pushing pills. 70% of Americans are taking some form of prescription drug, and that's the doctor's fault. They are the drug pushers. It's a racket. Doctors and the American Medical Association are part of a syndicate of organized crime against the people. Even people who have nothing wrong with them are taking pills. Why? Because it's big money. It's big pharma. It's very lucrative for the doctors and the pharmaceutical companies. And that's not why people should take medicine. They should take medicine because it is effective. Prozac is almost all fluoride. Anybody who takes Prozac is nuts. It will destroy your body. And there are many, many medicines with fluoride in them because they need to get rid of this shit. And they can't put it anywhere because it'll get into the groundwater. Well, putting it directly into our water is the same fucking thing. Who do they think they're kidding? Fluoride Action Network, Michael Connett says, in our view, it's high time for the United States to start following the approach taken by most of the Western world and stop fluoridating its water. It makes far more sense for those people who want to use fluoride to brush it on their teeth, spit it out, and that way you apply fluoride to the only tissue in the body that stands to benefit, he says. And you don't expose every other tissue in the body. I think that's very sensible, except I already read about the efficacy of putting fluoride on your teeth, and it is not effective. It puts a very, very thin layer of fluoride, and I don't think fluoride is what you want on your teeth. I think fluoride destroys teeth. And when it's ingested, it destroys your whole fucking body. And I asked this question: how much poison, arsenic, lead, cadmium, mercury, and fluoride, how much of that poison do you want in your family's drinking water? And who has the right to decide, you or them? Who decided that we should all be medicated? Who decided that there would be a propaganda campaign for 60 fucking years so that the average person is so confused because he's been taught wrong? They even teach dental students that fluoride is good when ingested. This is not true. This is a fucking lie. Whoever the group is pushing fluoride, they're pretty fucking powerful because they can get the instruction at dental schools to tell the dental students a fucking lie. And we need to sue those schools and make them stop doing this. When the lawsuits start being filed, you're going to see this whole fluoride campaign collapse and burn. The American Dental Association is a bunch of criminals who are profiting from fluoridosis. If 41% of the kids are showing fluoridosis on their teeth, who is getting paid to fix those teeth? The American Dental Association members. That's why dentists recommend it, and we need to sue every dentist who publicly proclaims the benefits, bring his ass to court and make him prove the benefits. Because they're not there, and then we can take everything the motherfucker has. We can make him pay all his money to lawyers to defend himself. And that's what has to be done. The decision to lower the amount to 0.7 milligrams per liter, the same amount in a toxic dose of toothpaste, was welcomed by groups such as the American Dental Association, a bunch of fucking money-hungry bastards who don't give a shit about your teeth. They just want to make a killing from the damage caused by fluoride and the other poisons. Federal health officials dismiss concerns that fluoride might be a cause of other health problems. Well, they're not looking at the facts, and we need to fire the federal government by secession. It ends the IRS mafia and the Federal Reserve, two of the biggest poisons in the entire society, draining not only this country, but every other fucking country with their central bank invasion. It's like an octopus that invades the country and starts siphoning off their wealth. 187 countries on this planet have a central bank. And it's all the same people. It's the same people that established the central banks everywhere. They're extracting the wealth from 99.99% of the population of the planet. And this truth has to come out, and something has to be done about it. I say truth first. Federal health officials are working on the side of fluoridation because they own all the fucking companies that are dumping this poison on us, and they're enjoying the benefits of reduced costs of disposal and storage of these toxic chemicals. You know, they reverse engineered alien craft, and they could easily fly this shit to the sun and dispose of it by dumping it into the sun. Instead, they want to dump it into our drinking water? What kind of fucking bullshit is that? Now, here's another fucking lie from Barbara Gooch, a dentist at Centers for Disease Control. That is one corrupt fucking organization, a government agency that is paid by our taxes. And what do? They work against us. She says the only documented risk of water fluoridation is fluorosis. If it was the only fucking documentation, then it would be a good reason to stop poisoning the people. Fluorosis is a symptom of poisoning. Overdose of a toxin. And she says it's primarily a cosmetic risk. Well, that cosmetic risk causes people in the classroom to say, I don't want to go out with you. You don't brush your teeth. I don't want to marry you. You're dirty. This is unfair to a child. And if the only reason we banned fluoridation was that, it would be justified. Fuck you, Barbara Gooch. And fuck you, Center of Disease Control. If your organization or agency is called Center for Disease Control and Prevention, don't you think it might be a good idea to control the disease by eliminating fluoride in the water, you fucking assholes? She says that fluorosis in the milder form is not a health risk. Bullshit. When you look closely at someone that you're about to kiss and you see mottling of the teeth, mottling, you know that that person has symptoms. Of what? If you're not a doctor, you look at those teeth and say, it doesn't feel right. I don't want to kiss this girl. She's dirty. She has a disease. Well, she was poisoned. It's not her fault. It's people like Barbara Gooch, a dentist, who's working for the commies and the fascists at the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. What's the best way to prevent fluorosis? Not poison the fucking water. Thanks for watching. I got to go comb my hair again. I'm at NPR. I don't know what that means. Maybe National Public Radio. The headline reads, Feds say it's time to cut back on fluoride in drinking water. Well, since fluoride is poison, how much poison is appropriate? And when you consider that fluoride comes from the phosphate fertilizer factories, it is not pharmaceutical grade medicine, but they are medicating all of us. It's the first time ever that they use the public water supply to force medicine on people that don't want it. The process is wet scrubbing. They spray water on the chimneys, and whatever comes down, and I'll name all 5, they put it on trucks and send it to your water company and dump it into your water supply. It's a toxin when it leaves the factory. It arrives at your water company as medicine, and it is not pharmaceutical grade. And here's why. It contains 5 deadly toxins: fluoride, cadmium, arsenic, lead, and mercury. Now, which one of those do you want in your water supply in any amount? The article is dated April 27, 2015, and it was updated May 3, 2015. I'm going to read the story now. Federal health officials Monday changed the recommended amount of fluoride in drinking water for the first time since 1963, cutting by almost half the maximum amount of fluoride that should be added to drinking supplies. Now, this word should be is a lie. They never ran any tests to see if it was safe or effective. Safe or effective. Safe or effective. No tests. And so who came up with this should be added to the drinking supplies? The Department of Health and Human Services recommended, based on no studies whatsoever for effect or safety, recommended 0.7 milligrams of fluoride per liter of water instead of the long-standing range of 0.7 to 1.2 milligrams. Now you look on the back of a tube of toothpaste and it says, don't let kids under 6 near this toothpaste, it is poison. How much poison is there in a ribbon of toothpaste the size of a pea? The correct answer is the same amount in 1 glass of water. And what the toothpaste says is if your child accidentally swallows an amount equal to the size of a pea, that you should call the emergency room and poison center immediately. That means every time your child takes a glass of water, you should be in the emergency room because your child has been poisoned. Now, what is the recommended amount of poison? The Department of Health and Human Services recommends 0.7 milligrams per liter. The same dose that's found in 1 ribbon the size of a pea in toothpaste. If it's a poison in toothpaste and it's a poison at the factory where they make fertilizer, duh, is it a poison when it arrives as medicine? Of course it's a poison. And how much tooth decay can we expect from cadmium, arsenic, lead, mercury, and fluoride? I say none. And the studies recently done say none. And for 60 years, they have been pumping toxins into our water with no studies to prove efficacy or safety. And if you type in fluoridation, you get an American Dental Association propaganda ad at the bottom of the page at Google that says that it is safe to put poison in your water. Let me name the 5 poisons you get. You get arsenic. That is the largest one, the largest amount of arsenic in your water. You also get cadmium. And look up the effects of cadmium. When people have root canals and they use cadmium in the gutta perca, that's the root canal filling, they put a filling in the root